Hey you, it's me, Nicole Phoenix Star, and this is the Next Star podcast. Ah, I am not really sure what I am going to talk about today. I am about to leave my hotel from my birthday soiree, and I've lost one sock. It's the strangest thing. It's just drawing my head in a little bit because I didn't take my shoes off anywhere outside of the room, and I have looked everywhere 1,000 times and it's missing. Anyway, it's not the end of the world, obviously. Um, so here I sit at 52 years old and 1 day, and it's so funny when you're much younger and you think of imagine being 50 and beyond, and it just seems like 1,000 years away and unimaginable, and you generally feel like you would be old by then. And I certainly do not feel old in any form whatsoever. If you had have asked me at 49 though, I would have said my body felt old, but I no longer have that experience, gratefully. I have had a glorious time away, a lot of restfulness and a lot of stillness, and I really was ready for some alone time. It's something that I used to get a lot of, and living with other people in my house now, I don't quite get as much, although I do love having a little house full. Um, and I didn't run around. I used the hotel gym, and that was beautiful. It was I really want a home gym with all the things. Oh my God. It was so very cool having that. Um, I went for a couple of really big walks and bought myself some jewelry and had some room service, and I went down to the restaurant for breakfast this morning, and that was lovely. And yeah, I went to this show last night. It was the author Marian Keyes, who I hadn't really heard of when I was looking for something that I wanted to see when I came to Brisbane. And in kind of doing a little research on her, I realized that she's written actually a bunch of books and has sold literally millions of copies, and is currently getting a Netflix series um, done about one of her books or the family in her books. And she's this Irish woman, and she's so down to earth and really, really funny. And I think she just relates deeply with so many, particularly women, because she talks about the messiness and how we can always find the joy in all of it. And there was just so much resonance in the crowd last night. There was so much feedback and cheering and yesing and nodding and so much laughing. Um, and yeah, it was a lovely little thing to do. Um, and just really, you can just feel that common thread through humanity of the journey, and how, I don't know, the illusion that it needs to be all perfect and wonderful all the time. She told this story actually about how, the crazy idea that we want to be happy all the time, but if someone if you have coffee with someone and they're like, and you ask them how they are, and they're like, "Oh my God, everything is so great. Oh my God, my children are doing all these amazing things. It's so great. Oh, we just got a house valued and it's like tripled in price in the last 2 years. It's so great. Oh, my health's better than it ever been." And she goes, and you just look at her and go, I don't want to hear any more of this. um, and it was just this whole big dialogue and story around the human experience and how if we can truly like be present and be aware of, the highs and just as much the lows, and how powerful and potent that all is in life's journey. And, you know, it's where we grow. It's so strangely conditioned into us to not feel the depths of all the emotions and feelings. And it's so conditioned into us to kind of just chase after happiness, and how we bypass so much and how we shut down so much, and how we, tell people to stop crying and tell them it's going to be okay, and how like unhelpful all of that is. Um, it really is unhelpful in the greater scheme of things. Like, most people say these things because they don't have the capacity to bear witness to the depth of the human experience, and they are feeling uncomfortable and want themselves to not feel uncomfortable anymore, so they hush people. Or, it's so fascinating seeing people um dealing with people that are crying. And another thing that I really find fascinating is how people deal with people that are sick or unwell or injured or whatever. And I was having this conversation with my daughter last week because she hurt her back really badly. And it's so fascinating how people experience you not in your regular A game. And particularly if you're injured or sick or unwell or in pain. And yeah, it's truly fascinating. I've been aware of it for many years because I'm a real nurturer, and like I am such a nurse to the ill and unwell, and most people find that fascinating. I love looking after unwell people and just kind of making them be aware of the ride, and to really look at the purpose of the sickness or the disease or the injury or whatever, and to really be present with yourself and really learn to listen to your body. Um, it's such a great opportunity to become incredibly intimate with yourself and become more aware of the intelligence of the body, and how to self-support and how to self-nurture. And these beautiful opportunities aren't unfortunate, and they aren't an issue or a problem or even an inconvenience. And it's a very irregular way of seeing things. And yeah, life's a funny, funny thing. Um, and, you know, when I looked back 12 months ago from where I was on my last birthday soiree to where I am now, there's no way in a billion years I could have imagined. I couldn't even planned thought up, had an idea of. And, you know, it just gives great reference to, the illusion that we need to plan our life out, or we even need to choose what to do next, because life always has grander, more wild, more unimaginable ideas for you all the time, like every single time. And what a waste of time and energy and space it is to try and work things out or think you need to choose which path to go down, because you absolutely don't. It always unfolds the way it does. And I've found over and over and over again that it's always so much more extraordinary than I could have ever imagined. And I was looking back at, some of the things I've done on my birthdays, and how a memory came up on Facebook this morning of 9 years ago when Leo and I went to India for my birthday, because it was this massive celebration of Sri Ravi Shankar's 60th birthday. And Sri Ravi Shankar and I both share the same birthday. And incidentally, it was also Leo's Hindu Ottanam, which happens every 280 days. And this particular Ottanam was shaving of the head. And the shaving of the head kind of removes all karma from past lives. It was the second time we'd done it. And, taking him through all his rites of passages has been an incredible journey for me and him. So that lined up on the same day as well. And that morning, we, actually a woman that we stayed in this beautiful Indian's home in one of their rooms through Airbnb, and this sweet woman arranged for a barber to meet a priest in a Ganesha temple. And Leonanda Ganesh needed a Ganesha temple, and we went there. And the barber turned up, and the priest was there, and he had like a cutthroat razor. And Leo just sat there in the middle of the temple 9 years ago. So yeah, he was 2. He was a big 2-year-old, 2.5 almost. And he just sat there, and they shaved his head, and he didn't cry, he didn't move, and they were just stunned that this very small child just sat there. And they shaved his head, and this massive crowd was around us. It was amazing. And all these blessings and stuff. And they loved it as much as, it was as special to us. Like, they were like these white people, this little white kid getting his head shaved by this priest and barber in the middle of the Ganesha temple on whatever day it was. It was in the morning. And then he had to take his hair and offer it to the Ganesha deity, kind of in a cave-ish alcove at the temple, and he did that. And then they got these massive big like those sacred flower lei type things, cauliflowers, and put them, like so many, around his neck, and sat him on this big elephant statue, and all these people took photos, and it was such an epic, wild event, and it was beautiful. It was so fun and such a blessing. And then we hopped in this rickshaw and rode back to, we were staying in this little hotel from then onwards, closer to the ashram. And he was just playing the craziest, funnest Bollywood kind of Indian music, really loud, and it was just like being in a movie. It was so fun. And then we got back to our hotel and had a little bit of a rest and prepared for the big ceremony in the evening for my birthday and Sri Ravi Shankar's birthday. And we ordered an Uber to come and pick us up. And I had this notification on my phone from Uber saying, your driver, Shiva, is arriving soon. And it was so funny. I laughed so hard, which made Leo laugh so hard. He didn't really understand. And I'm like, Shiva's coming to pick us up. It was just another little unimaginable, epic little piece in the whole thing. Yeah, and we arrived at the ashram and had a beautiful, incredible, profound, epic, awesome evening. And then found our way back to our hotel and went to sleep so tired and happy and fulfilled. And there has been some birthdays that have just been super simple, but very intentional and by no means any less amazing. And I really look back over, all these memories I have banked, and some have been things I didn't even know existed, and some have been a hell I never knew existed, and all of them are in there and treasured and acknowledged and appreciated and are dripping in gratitude, every single one. And perhaps that is my message today, is to recognize that every moment of life is spent in your memories, and all of them are precious, and all of them are precious because they make you who you are right now in this moment, and they could not have ever been any other way, and each of them are just as important along your journey, and good is no better than bad, and all of them have a purpose. And to recognize that, because I value all of mine and know that they are all essential, and that there is peace in that. There is a peacefulness that arrives from not wishing things to be different and truly honoring and recognizing every single part of it. So I shall complete here and there, as I need to go onwards in my journey and head towards the train station and back into the arms of my babes, which I was so ready to step into some solo alone time, and now I am just as ready to return into that. Thank you so much for listening. I am so grateful. So grateful. Thank you so much. And please feel free to share this with anyone that you may feel too. And my website is www.nikstar.com, Nikstar. Much love. Mwah.